Hi, this is Terri Levine from the Business Growth System, and I'm joined by my colleague at the Business Growth System, Lindel James. And we're excited to be with you. Today, we're going to talk about the integration of your core unique positioning statement. Last time, we educated you on the core unique positioning, and now we're going to talk about how to integrate it. And Lindel, do you want to tell a preview of what you're going to chat about as well?
Yeah, Terri, I'm really excited today because I'm going to talk about your core sales numbers, and this is so important. Every business owner needs to be managing to their core sales numbers, and when you do, and when you make very small changes, you'll see dramatic increases in your overall profit line. So stay tuned for that.
Good. This is going to be a great session. And one of the things that I just get goosebumps and excited about, and Lindel and I talk about this a lot, is with the clients that we work with at the Business Growth System, and there's a variety. There's attorneys and chiropractors and dentists and HVAC people and mortgage people and realtors and plumbers and people who own restaurants and stores. It doesn't matter what you do. We work with all kinds of people. But what we see is just coming up with the right core unique positioning can increase revenues and profits 25%. And now, when you integrate and learn to manage to your core numbers, as Lindel's going to share with you today, that can increase another 25%. So just these two lessons are incredibly powerful. So I hope that you'll really breathe this in. So we're going to assume that you watched the very first lesson on core unique positioning. If you didn't, go find that. Go watch that. If you don't have it, email one of us for it, Lindel@thebusinessgrowthsystem.com or Terri@thebusinessgrowthsystem.com. Just go to thebusinessgrowthsystem.com and you'll find us. But you have a core unique positioning. You know, let's say it's double your profits guaranteed. Now, what are you going to do with that? You've come up with words that really differentiate you from everybody else, that really help you stand out, that attract the right kinds of people to you. Now what? That's the big question. Well, the benefit of having the core unique positioning is in this word, integration. Integration, it's a key word. You've got to integrate that statement in everything you do. Your signature file, flyers, brochures, your website, your Facebook page, your Twitter page, your LinkedIn, your business cards, any ads that you do. Anytime you think it's a marketing message, you've got to make a parallel that your core unique positioning needs to be in there. So I want you to take a minute and I want you to think of all the marketing messages that you have in your particular business. What is it that you're saying? How are you saying it? When are you saying it? Where are you saying it? Do you have receipts? Do you do mailings? Do you do postcards? That core unique positioning should be on your voicemail. It should be on your messaging, both incoming, outgoing. If you have a message on hold system in your business, it should be there. And if you have employees or independent contracts or even virtual assistants like Lindel and I have, they should be saying it. Every time your business communicates, verbally or non-verbally, that same message must be built in and used over and over again. So I'm going to go back, Lindel, and I'm going to use the example I gave, double your profits guaranteed. Every one of your customers should know that that's what you do. Think of how easy it is for them to make referrals to you. They say, oh, I'm working with this company and they have a great offer. It's double your profits guaranteed. Somebody else is going to go, really? In our business, as you may know, at the Business Growth System, we are all about zero cost consulting. 3 words, zero cost consulting. Really is 100% what we do that is different and unique from any other business. That's why people come to us. That's why people love working with us, understandably. So we want our clients to know those words and to say those words. We want to make sure our prospects hear those words. We want to make sure that every message that we give has those words. Before I continue, Lindel, anything you want to add around what I've begun?
No, I just hope that people will breathe in what you're saying and they will make those words, their core unique positioning statement, or as we love to call it, your cups, if it will just make it part of everything they do, it will just become second nature to you, because this is what's going to draw in people. And people are going to want to challenge what you say. They're going to want to challenge. Are you going to be able to really deliver where you're saying, okay, I'm coming on because I want to challenge you to that?
Exactly. Don't ever come up with a core unique positioning you can't deliver on. And this is one of the reasons that Domino's Pizza, which built its company on a phenomenal core unique positioning, hot, fresh pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. You might notice they don't use that anymore. They had to change that because over time they were becoming so popular and getting so many orders that for their drivers to deliver in 30 minutes or less, they had to drive not well, very, very fast. There were a lot of accidents, there were a lot of tickets, their insurance went up, plus they were endangering their employees. So they've changed their CUPS, core unique positioning. You have to check your core unique positioning, and today's the time to do it. You need to say, is that a good statement I came up with? Does it still hold true? Can I deliver on this? And one other thing that I wanted to just get across to our viewers today, you also must, on a regular basis, remember that all of your prospects, I like to call it, they're part of a moving parade. What do I mean by that? Maybe you went to them with your products or services a month ago, last quarter, 6 months ago, or even last year. Or maybe they used to buy from you and they stopped. Well, in this moving parade, you're going to lose some people, but at the same time, some people who didn't have a need are going to again have a need. So I'm going to give you a true story about this. I think it might kind of help you here. One of our clients, who's an IT professional and services people's computers in business or small businesses, mostly small networks, he told me that last year he'd lost one of his biggest customers, and he was really struggling about this. And I said, well, why did they leave? And he said, I don't know. Okay, now you do want to know that. But now he has a brand new core unique positioning working with us. And he has a guarantee in his core unique positioning, and it's very strong, and he lives by it. I know, because he happens to be my IT professional as well. So all I did with him is say, okay, I want you to send them a little postcard with the core unique positioning. I want you to call them and say, I'm not looking to have your business back. I just wanted you to know that we've made a change in our business, and I'm curious what you think of this new change that we have. That's it. He followed up, did both things. Before he even got to discuss with them his new core unique positioning, not to sell them anything, but just to continue a relationship, because once a client or customer is in your family, they need to stay in your family. He made the phone call after he sent the postcard, 7 days later, just the way I asked him to. And he got the business owner on the phone, and they said, oh my gosh, are we glad to hear from you. We were so happy to receive your postcard. You know what? We really are struggling. We have had many network problems, and we wanted to have you come back in. That's part of the moving parade. So your core unique positioning opens doors. He has a brand new core unique positioning. He simply said on the phone, I'd be happy to come back in, and let me tell you something really different in my company. I have this very solid guarantee now. By the way, he charges about 36–37% more than he charged a year ago. And he has more clients than he's ever had, and he is reactivating clients right and left, all because of the strong guarantee that he built in. Anyway, he got back, I'm celebrating here, he got back his biggest client, increased his revenues 86%, literally like this, okay, that's simple. So, is integrating your core unique positioning important? You bet it is. Is having the right one put in there important? Yes. Is communicating it important? Yes. And as we'll teach you in upcoming series, so is honoring this moving parade. So you are constantly going back to people, not to bug them, not to say, hey, buy from me, but because you started a relationship, and that's just what people do who are in relationship. They continue the connection. If you always think of people who've bought from you, may buy from you as extended family, it's very easy to sell without selling. All right, Lindel, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can teach one of the most important things in the system that makes a huge difference.
Well, thanks, Terri. And one of the things you said that kind of hit me where I wanted to start. We tell people in their sales process not to attach themselves to the outcome, to just really give good information and put what you have out there. Well, I'm going to say don't attach yourself to the outcome of what you are actually presenting to your prospect. But I do want you to attach yourself to the outcome to your core sales numbers, because that's a very important it's a very important part of your management of your business. Every industry and every company has some sort of ongoing sales process, and they have to or they wouldn't be in business. For example, if you're in retail that you're going to have people coming into your store. Or if you're selling, you're a manufacturer's rep, you're going to be going out to see people. If you're in advertising, you're going to be going out to see people. Those people that are either coming in or you're going out to visit are your prospects. And you need to know how many prospects you're starting with so that you can watch your numbers as they grow. When you make small changes, you can have amazing growth, but you have to know where you start so you'll be able to celebrate the changes as they actually occur. So whether you're doing retail sales, whether you're prospecting through referrals or direct mail, you need to know what you're starting with so that you can measure how that changes. So during your closing process, people are either going to purchase from you or they're not. And how you measure what happens there is called your closing ratio. So you start with a prospect, you make your presentation to them in whatever form your particular business offers your products or services, and the result of that is called your closing ratio. So that's a number that we're going to talk about more in a few minutes. You also have a cost of your product or service. So you know that there is a value to each transaction that occurs in your business. You need to be measuring your cost per transaction. You need to measure your closing ratio. And you need to measure your number of prospects. And you need to also be looking at how you're driving business into your business, how you're driving prospects into your business. And we're going to talk about that more as we go on in our training sessions for you. But today I want you to focus on basic numbers. These will be the ABCs, literally, of your business growth. And so when we start with a new client, we want these numbers right up front because we say we're going to provide zero-cost consulting for you. What can that zero cost be based on? Everything has to have a beginning. We have to know where we start. So we'll be able to, as I said earlier, celebrate the incremental growths. And those incremental growths can become pretty large. As Terri just said, one of our clients just saw an 86% growth in their profit for just making a small change in what he did. But small changes can end up being very big dollars to you and your business. So what we'd like you to do right now, and this is like a quick little assignment for you. First of all, take out a piece of paper. I hope you got that before you started to listen to us today. But if not, pause, go get a piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to start tracking your core sales numbers right now. So first of all, what is the number of prospects that you currently have on your books? How many people are you currently working with? That's going to be your A. So A equals the number of prospects. Now don't go running off and try to go through all of your materials that you have right now. Just take a guess. Most business owners have some feel for a number. And so as we're starting out today, take your best guess. Put an estimate down of the number of prospects that you have. Then the next number that you're going to evaluate is, we're going to call it B, and that's going to be, what's your conversion rate? B is a percentage. So you're going to take the number of people that come into your store, the number of people that you present to, the number of people that you've gone out and visited, and divide that by the number of people that actually closed, that actually became clients. That's going to give you your percentage, your closing percentage. It's a very, very important number for you. Because there are things that you can do in our system, particularly, that are going to help you increase that closing percentage. We're also going to help you increase the number of prospects that come in. As Terri said earlier, once you have that good, solid, I can do it, core unique positioning statement, that's going to draw the prospects in. Then we look at, are you trained well enough? Do you know how to close? Are you saying the right things? So we'll work on that. B is the percentage of people that you close. That becomes your closing ratio. Then C is, what is the average transaction cost? What's the value of an average transaction? Now, it may take you a while to figure this out. Again, for the sake of doing the exercise today, just take a guess. You probably have a pretty close idea of what it's going to be. And let's just say it's $100. It may be $1,000, it may be $10,000, it may be $10. But just say it's $100. Imagine what would happen if you could increase that average transaction. There's only 3 ways that you can increase your business. You increase the number of prospects that you have, you increase your closing ratio, or you increase the value of an average transaction. So can you see why these businesses, I lost my train of thought here, your core sales numbers can become so, so important to you. It's really the basis of the ABCs of your business management. From these numbers, you're going to be able to see how those small changes that we're teaching you to make are going to have such an impact. For example, if you took just an increase of 10% in your prospects, 10% of your prospects, say you have 100 prospects, and you increased your prospects by 10%, that's 110. So it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but look at this. You take those 10 more prospects, you take 110 prospects, and say you have a closing ratio of 50%. And your average dollar per transaction is in the range of $100. That's going to give you $5,000. At 100, you have $5,000. If you just increase that by 10%, that's going to bring your total revenue generated up to $5,500. So you see that you've already had small incremental growth. Well, just imagine if you increased all of your core sales numbers by 10%. Just, you have 110 prospects, started with 100. You have a closing ratio that was 50%, and that goes to 60%. That gives you 66 customers. And you increase your average transaction from $100 to $110. That's going to give you total generated revenue of $7,260. How does that sound? That's an increase of $2,260, or 45% more revenue to your bottom line. Is there anybody out there that wouldn't like to see making small changes and having a 45% increase in their revenue? Terri, I don't know anybody like that, do you?
No, I don't. They shouldn't be in business.
I'd like to see 45%. And we actually work on this in our own business as well. This is something that we have to manage. Every serious business owner has to have a system of managing to their numbers. And as we go on, we're going to tell you how this can have an impact on increasing your customers, but increasing how your salespeople sell. And you know, lots of times we'll talk about employees and we'll talk about staff members and so forth and how you can improve your management of these people who work for you. But if you're a solopreneur, you're the employee as well. So you still have to manage yourself to these numbers. And if you don't have the training that you need to go and get more training so that you can make these numbers grow for yourself. Would you agree, Terri?
100%. Yes, I would, Lindel. Yes, I would.
I'm going to let you talk for a minute here.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot for sharing that. I want to just add that regardless of what kind of a business you have, or you own, what Lindel just taught you is incredibly valuable. You can be an internet marketer and you can be increasing prospects 10%, conversions 10%, repeat buyers 10%. It is all about the exponential growth. When you do one thing 10%, another thing 10%, and another thing 10%, it actually equals a 33% increase. I just want people to understand it is not 1 + 1 = 2. It's 1 + 1 = 11 or 11,000, or it could be any number. The first thing I want you to really do is exactly what Lindel asked you to do, and that's start to track this. I have a lot of people that say, oh, yeah, I know how many prospects I have. And I say, how many? And they go, well, around. Then you don't know. Okay, I can tell you this past week how many people I personally spoke to. I know Lindel can tell me the same. I can tell you how many of those people closed. Lindel can do the same. That's one of our ratios. We can also tell you how many of our customers stayed for a longer period of time or purchased something else. The goal is not just to get a customer. And if you are just about getting a customer and not building relationships, I'm very blunt, as Lindel knows, you're not going to be sustaining business. You're not going to be around. 3 years, probably you'll be out of business. And honestly, the way things are today, probably 16 months at the most. Long-term businesses, and I've owned my coaching company. This is my 15th or 16th year. I've owned other companies for decades as well prior to selling them. And I had to build long-term businesses, and that's what we teach our clients, long-term business. To build a long-term business, you have to manage to these core sales numbers every single day. You can't see it, but right next to me is a whiteboard. And that whiteboard tells me exactly how my relationships are going with each and every customer or client that we have at the Business Growth System. They're our extended family. How many of them are coming back for repeat business? How many of them are referring? In terms of closing, the one thing that Lindel and I, do not do is sell. We do not sell. And you may think that's strange. We don't teach business owners to sell. In fact, we teach the opposite. We base it on my best-selling book called Sell Without Selling. And the whole deal is you're in business to build relationships. Every conversation I have, first thing I say to people is, I am not here to sell you anything. I really don't care if you decide to buy our services and invest in them or not. I'm here as a business owner to give you as much value as I can, and in maybe a 45-minute strategy session to see if you can walk away with some good ideas. At the end, I'll say, where do we go from here? If you say, you know what, Terri, I think this business growth system and the zero-cost consulting is something I need. I want to increase more revenue, more profits without it costing me money. Great, I'll tell you how it works. But if you say, you know, I'm not really that interested, or I don't want to grow, or whatever it might be, I'll say, great, it was great speaking with you, and we'll part as friends, and hopefully we can stay connected because I just created a new relationship. I just want to remind people that while there's outer actions that we're always teaching you, there's also an inner consciousness, an inner mindset to the whole game of selling. And I call it a game because it really should be fun. Developing relationships in your life should be fun. There's no reason to live on this planet without connecting to other people in a heartfelt way. So I just wanted to add the consciousness, the mindset of creating relationships. And when you do that and track the number of people you talk to, the number of prospects coming to your website, calling your office, coming into your store, or that your outside salespeople or inside salespeople are chatting with, you can really get these numbers very specific, and you can say, okay, let's shoot to increase them 10% in 30 days. And do exactly what Lindel is sharing, track each one of these. Now, we've got all the strategies coming to help you learn how to do all the increases. Today, we needed to ground you in taking that core unique positioning and implementing it in every marketing message you have. And everything that you have is a marketing message. Every time you open your mouth or you show something or you have anything on the internet, it's a marketing message. Stand up at a networking group, go to a chamber, it's a marketing message. And then the second thing is you have to now take on the task of tracking your core sales numbers. Now, there are a couple things that we can offer you. And again, pardon me, not being attached to any outcome, we do a Q&A strategy session with you. It's totally free. There's no strings. There's no obligation. There is zero. Why do we do it? I have a big why statement in my personal life, and this why statement really is the underlying mission of our business. I personally have been very blessed in business. I've been in business since I'm 21 years old, and I've always had a successful business. You know, I read a lot of people's stories, and they kind of had a business, and they failed, and it's rags to riches. I don't have that story. I just have my own true, honest, ethical story. Every business I've ever had, I've ever touched, has turned into $1 million or a multi-million-dollar business, starting from the time I was 21. I sold my first business back in the 80s. I'm going to date myself here, Lindel. I sold my first business in 1983 for $1 million. Now, that was a lot of money back then. Today, it's like, oh, that's all right. It was a lot of money. I started a second business, completely different. I knew nothing about it, and I had no sales training, no marketing training, zero business experience. So there's something innate in me. And in that second business, I was able to sell that business for $12 million. I then went to work in corporate America, and I always have to share this story because this was such an aha to me. I worked with a startup company, and it was just me and one other person. He was the ops person, and I was hired to be the salesperson. We started with zero. Okay, there was nothing, no accounts. We were an unknown. Nobody knew our names, anything. In less than 6 months, I took that company to $88 million. Then I went, could have had a V8. You know, why wasn't I doing that for myself? So I went back into business for myself, and I've owned many businesses along the way. But the core message that showed up in my heart several years ago, probably 2 years ago now, is making money is wonderful. I love that because I have a foundation for children, as Lindel knows. It is really my biggest mission and passion in life. And so most of my money goes to help children who are in desperate need in this foundation. That's why I love to earn money. It's not, for me at this point in my life, about spending it, accumulating more stuff, and buying stuff. For me personally, it's about giving. I don't care why you make money, just make money. But what really showed up as the big mission for me in business is I have been very, very blessed for my 30-something years in business. Everything I've touched has turned golden. Now, don't think that it's luck or that you're going to get some miracle pill or something. You know, we don't sell anything that's like those infomercials you watch at night and it seems like a magic bullet and you get your credit card out. Okay, we're not that. It's about doing the work. We teach you how to do it. My mission is to help as many business owners on this planet as I can be super successful, because I really believe that's how we turn around not just our economy, but the power and the strength of entrepreneurs, which is what our country here in the United States is totally built on. It's built on entrepreneurs. And as you can see, it's no longer going to last in corporations. So that's my mission. Lindel joined me. She felt the same passion. So we offer a 45-minute telephone strategy session. There's no hype. There's no strings attached. There's zero selling. We do not sell. It's a Q&A session. We'll find out about your business. We'll help you. We'll give you some tools and some techniques. At the end of the call, we'll say, yeah, where do you want to go from here? If you say nowhere, thanks a lot for your help, we'll say, great. It's fun giving you some tools and tips. It's how we spend our time, sharing and helping, paying it forward. If you say, you know what, I'd like your help. I want the zero cost consulting. I want you to do it for me. Because what we do is we implement it for you. You don't have to sit and figure out your numbers, your core unique positioning, how to implement. We do it all for you. It is the only truly done for you system that is guaranteed to be zero cost. You want us to do it? Happy to talk to you about it. In either case, our goal is just to build a relationship. If you're listening to this and you think, they've got some good information, 45 minutes of my time, who knows? One idea in those 45 minutes could make me a lot of extra money. I'll chat with one of them. If that resonates with you, real simple. Go to thebusinessgrowthsystem.com, thebusinessgrowthsystem.com. And on the right-hand side, it's so easy. You'll see a big button that says Start Here. Simply click Start Here, and then you'll get your session scheduled with us. Please remember, it is Q&A, relationship building. We have nothing to hype, nothing to sell, just building relationships. Lindel, anything you'd like to add before we sign off?
No, I'm just having a hard time not wanting to give more and more and more information because, like you, we can't be successful unless we make other people successful, and that's really our goal, and that's what floats our boats, as we say. It's just a joy to be able to see these core sales numbers work and grow. And to think that we can be a small part of that is very exciting. So that's all I have to say.
Great. Again, I'll remind you, it's thebusinessgrowthsystem.com. Just click on Start Here, and we'd be honored to spend some time with you, helping you in your business. Breathe in this information. If you haven't watched our first chat on core unique positioning, we recommend you do. And we've got more coming for you, just more and more value that we'd like to add to you and your business. And please feel free to share this with any business owner you know. We're here to help a lot of people. So if you have social media access or whatever it might be, a blog, whatever, we would really like you to share the content. Our goal is to touch more people and help more business owners be successful. So thank you very much for joining us today. We're going to sign off for now, and we'll be back to give you some more training very shortly. Bye now.
Bye. Bye for now.